Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a fantabulous couple in love that loves reacting to some fantasy.
He's busting out the fantabulous again.
Yes, I am. And so we're reacting to all the Elder Scrolls cinematic trailers for Skyrim. It's one of my favorite games, probably my favorite game of all time. Now, I mainly only played the main game. I didn't go like in any DLCs or anything like that. It was just the best fantasy open world experience I think I've ever had, and it had so many different choices and options and different guilds to join, and it just had it all. But I haven't really checked out the trailers for it. Mainly what I did for video games for a while there was just go to GameStop and see read the back cover and see if it was on a greatest hits or something like that, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, I'll check this one out. And then GameStop for a while had you could return it within 7 days. And so there was a time there when I was would beat a game, return it before the 7 days and just get another game. Elder Scrolls was not one of those games. This is a game you can play for a very, very long time. But yeah, it was definitely one where I kept and I did not return it.
Nice.
All right. Okay.
Should have acted. They're already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return. Their defeat was merely a delay. Until the time after Oblivion opened, when the sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. But no one wanted to believe they even existed. And when the truth finally dawns, it dawns in fire. But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he's Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
The way the music started made me think of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Not this part, obviously. The way it started to alternatives.
You should have acted. They're already here. The Elder Scrolls told of their return. Their defeat was merely a delay. Till the time after Oblivion opened, when the sons of Skyrim would spill their own blood. But no one wanted to believe they even existed. And when the truth finally dawns, it dawns in fire. But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he's Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
Yeah, you have to take down the dragon.
gladly retire from the world were such a day to dawn.
You don't think this is a war already? Sir,
Thank you, Legate. In the future, I'll let you know when your opinion is needed.
Skyrim needs the Empire as much as it needs us.
I fight for my people, impoverished to pay the debts of an empire too weak to rule them, yet brands them criminals for wanting to rule themselves. I fight because I must.
Khajiit wares, if you have coin.
So, what can I do for you today?
Exists.
I have work if you've got the backbone. Sound like you can handle it?
No doubt, the appearance of a Dragonborn at this time is not an accident. Your destiny is surely bound up with the return of the dragons.
If you are Dragonborn, then there is hope, after all.
Sets up the world nicely.
These powers. Oh.
Popping dudes' heads off.
It's very detailed. Makes me think very much of Lord of the Rings. Oh, that was cool.
It's cool turning the concept art into the actual game. That was nice.
Yeah, I like the nods to the artists.
You have found our fortress. You have returned my daughter. But what is it you seek? Is it to be one of us? To make the darkness your own? To feast on the souls of the living and the dead? Or are you with them? The Dawnguard. They think they can stop us. But we will find them. The Elder Scrolls will be mine. And the tyranny of the sun shall end.
We'll give it away.
Introducing Hearthfire, the latest in Skyrim add-on content. With Hearthfire, you can finally place a permanent mark on the world of Skyrim by designing, building, and maintaining your own home.
Okay.
Your first step on the road to home ownership is to purchase a plot of land. After obtaining a deed, use the new drafting table and carpenter's workbench to turn raw materials into your dream house, room by room. Build simple rooms like kitchens and libraries. Attach a greenhouse, enchanter's tower, or alchemy lab to grow and craft your own items in-house. Use the interior workbench to furnish each room with a large variety of craftable objects. Showcase your treasures with simple display cases and impress your friends with elaborate trophies. And even mounted mud crabs. Fill out your backyard with a garden, fish hatchery, and other useful additions.
Ooh, bees. Honey.
Oh.
To save time, hire a steward to simply buy materials and equip your household with furnishings. Stewards can also provide several transportation options, and even your own personal bard. With your home completed, move in your spouse and adopt a child with the new adoption system. But with a family comes responsibility.
Yeah.
You'll need to carefully raise your children, all while protecting your homestead from skeever infestations and those pesky neighborhood giants.
You put an overkill in the little rats to use your little.
They weren't that little.
Download Hearthfire
They're
on
like
Xbox
early
Live
lessons.
on September 4th.
I don't think they exist.
He was once one of them, the Dragon Priest. He ruled here in their name, ruled over Solstheim. But he did not serve the dragons. He devoured them. And like them, he seeks to return. You didn't think that you were the only one. He was the first. Dragonborn.
Wow. What a difference.
Yeah. Volumetric God rays.
That's beautiful. Did you just call a skeleton dragon to it?
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, okay.
For fun.
Sure. My tiny short and button flames. Ah, that's a cool shot.
I have to ask
With greatness
though,
awaits.
why are we trying to kill a dragon?
Because the dragons are gonna like
Scrolls speak of the past
destroy the world.
and the future. Now, Skyrim
Dragons
looks
are bad.
to the future,
Why
to
is
its
Raven-
ultimate version.
I don't know. They're ancient beings.
Alexa, play Skyrim.
You're level 57 and see a tall snowy mountain.
Climb it.
Now, Skyrim and life become one.
A mud crab scuttles towards the...
Fusswoda.
I didn't catch that.
Fusswoda.
I didn't quite catch that. Echoes all the way to Sovngarde.
What happened?
Fusswoda. That's the command for knocking things over.
Is there a command for picking shit up?
Haven't reached that level yet.
I'm sworn to carry your burdens. The dragon unleashes fire breath on you.
Okay.
You have 7% health left.
Oh shit. I drink a health potion.
You are out of health potions.
How many wheels of cheese do I have left?
473.
Okay, I eat all the cheese. I
Hey, remember what the doctor said about dairy?
Yes. Right, yes, of course. You're the greatest. Thank you so much.
You know the cheese.
I ate all of it.
Skyrim, very special edition. Also, coming soon to Etch-a-Sketch. Motorola pagers. And your Samsung smart refrigerator.
Oh, that's cool.
That was the best trailer yet.
That was fantastic. Dang. A decade's worth of content. Jeez. Hey, it's Gollum. That's pretty good. You're getting a lot more fish from the past one, right? That's cool. No! Oh!
Okay, so I'm curious, getting your first little taste of Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls. We watched the Elder Scrolls Online cinematic trailers.
I mean, it's really intense.
Yeah.
The world seems incredibly constructed. Some really beautiful sceneries that they have. It seems rich and a lot of depth is in this game in terms of how it was built and the thought put into it. It seems like there's an endless amount of things to do. I don't know how long this takes to play, but I feel like this takes longer than Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, I feel like this is a world that you could explore for many, 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 many hours.
Yeah.
The virtual reality commercial was really cool. Yes, I know, Ken laughs because I always harp on virtual reality, but like, there's something about that concept of being literally dropped into the world and having that sort of sensory experience where you're not aware of the fact that you're still in your living room, but you are in this world that's really cool. And to be in a world where there are dragons, I mean, come on, that's really cool.
I think it's maybe because I played the game before that I'm watching these trailers and I'm just like, God, they're just banking on the fact that this is such an amazing game that like they don't even care about the trailers. So we just saw Red Dead Redemption 2's trailers, and like, now granted, Red Dead Redemption 2 trailers were in like 2018, and this was in 2011, and so you know, gaming trailers have gotten better and whatnot. But like the gameplay trailers in Red Dead Redemption 2, it really showcased the game and gameplay really well, and got me to want to play the game, and like it made me feel like I had played it before almost. Like this one, I just didn't feel like it captured. Maybe like the only way to capture that feeling is to actually play this game. But I felt like when we watched some other trailers, like it's got me hyped up to play the game, or it's giving me like the sense of like having played the game before, like, or what it's like to experience this game. And for these, I just didn't feel like that happened. Like the best one I thought was that funny one with
the funny one at the end was great.
Yeah, with the Alexa thing. I felt like I'm like okay, that's cool, but
the cheese.
I almost think it was like kind of like people were. It's like, okay, you played Oblivion, obviously, and so this is just like that, but better. And now it's, you know, a newer version of that, updated. But I'm like, how is it going to suck in the newer player like to experience this? So I was curious, like, if that would be, if it's like these games or these trailers made you want to actually play it.
Okay, so that's a good question. Not necessarily.
See, yeah.
It made me want to explore the world, which I think is why I kind of honed in on the virtual reality, because I was like, the idea of a world with dragons and kind of exploring the detail that was in like some of the architecture and stuff here, I applaud. And so that was cool. But I will admit, I have no clue who our main character is. I have no idea why he wants to kill dragons. I don't know why the dragons are so angry. I mean, it seems like what they're showcasing is, come play our game. You can be a badass Viking and you can fight skeletons and dragons. And don't get me wrong, that might be enough. Like, I'm not knocking that. But with Red Dead Redemption, like, they gave us Arthur. We had a character. He was an outlaw. We had a story. He was part of a gang. He protected his gang, and like, here were the various ways that he could take care of them, and here were the various ways that he could bring profit to himself, and like...
And they talk about how, you know, like, the different choices you make can affect the different gameplay, and like, you know, how people interact with you and how people treat you.
How you treat your horse can affect how well your horse does in those sticky situations when you need your horse to, you know, I rode horses, and I went out to a ranch out west that a friend had, and like, you know, when you think you've learned how to ride a horse in like, you know, those suburban stables or whatever, that's nothing on a horse that's been trained in the West to do cattle roundup and everything else. Like, those horses turn on a dime. It's a totally different thing. And like, so when they talked about how the more that you have a relationship with your horse, the more your horse can do for you, I'm like, yes, that is 100% reality in terms of what an actual rider-horse relationship is, and the fact that they put that into the game. That is an attention to detail that they absolutely didn't need, but wow, does it enrich the story. None of that was introduced into these trailers. I will admit that, yes, that was a disappointment. The world is cool, the fantasy element is cool. You know I'm a sucker for fantasy, so of course I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I did probably like 2 trailers in think, who the hell is the guy with the horns? I mean, like, at least in Witcher, we have a character. In Valhalla, in Assassin's Creed, we have a character. I don't know who the guy is with the horns, and I don't know why I should care about him. Apart from the fact that, like, he is me in the game, and, like, I don't want to die, but...
So it kind of, like, briefly showed a kind of, like, some of the different guilds you could join, but it didn't talk about that. Like, if you've never played the game before, you wouldn't know any, like, you didn't know, like, about... Like, you can join the Assassin's Guild, or like, you know, the Dark Guild, or, you know, like, you know, you can be a vampire, you can be a werewolf, you can, you know, there's different things that you can you can do, and the side quests you kind of build. It's almost like I like collecting all the different side quests, and then like when I'm in a different town, I'm like, okay, how many side quests can I knock out in this like one little town or whatever before I go on to the next one?
I mean, they did have that one of the first trailers, which sort of was like giving some backstory on Dragonborn. They kind of, I think they alluded to it, and maybe because I'm an outlier who knows nothing about this game and has never played it, it didn't sink into my head the same way that it should. But I didn't connect that to our hero per se. I don't know. There are certain movies where like they'll talk about a main character or a certain type of character, and then all of a sudden like the camera dawns on that person, and you go, oh, it's this person that they're talking about. It wasn't set up that clearly in this one, so I didn't necessarily connect that was the story being told in that sort of like mythological, look at our stone wall before the dragon wakes up moment. I'm sorry, but once the dragon woke up, I didn't care about anything else. Like, it's a dragon. You focused on the dragon, and then the guy comes in who wants to kill the dragon. But like, if you're going to talk about the Dragonborn, and if that's truly who our hero is, it probably would have been helpful to go to him first, and then the dragon who is woken up, so that we can see like, oh, okay, so he's like part of this group of people who are Dragonborn, who are here to protect us from the dragons, and like, okay, now I get it, now we fight the dragon, okay, now it's making sense. I still don't know why the dragons are so pissed off.
There weren't any cool, like, cinematic trailers in there like there were in the Elder Scrolls Online one. And yeah, I know it was 2011, but you can't tell me that like they couldn't do it back then, because Wrath of the Lich King was around that time as well, and that was a badass freaking cinematic trailer.
It was.
And you know, it got you so hyped up to experience that. And, like, we watched it now. I mean, so like we're watching it for the first time. We watched it this year, so it still holds up. So I can only imagine what it was like 10 years ago.
Just look at how hyped up he is.
Yeah, and so I just I can't believe this game did as well as it did with that, such poor marketing like that, such poor trailers. Like I said, it's just such an amazing game that I think they just didn't need it. They're like, fuck it, you know this game's awesome. Here's a couple of cool stuff that you can do and people you can kill, and you know, come play it. We know you're gonna play it because it's an amazing game, and you know, Oblivion was awesome, and this is even better.
Comparative to the other trailers that we've watched,
yeah,
who focus on your hero, your story, why you're doing what you're doing, why it matters. I mean, Halo, for God's sakes, gives you this rich backstory of who Master Chief is, why he's fighting, who he's fighting, for what purpose.
Yeah.
This didn't give any of those sort of what to me as a player are key elements to suck me into the story. I'm sucked into the world of Skyrim. I like a world with dragons. So instantly I'm like, that would be cool to like have a virtual reality experience and like see a dragon flying overhead, and like I could get on board with trying that. That's kind of cool. That's not enough of a draw. Like a lot of the other ones that we watch, there's so much story. I mean, they really put heart and soul into each character as well as the world, that you're like, I have to go out. I have to go out and do this. I have to play this. I so desperately want to be Batman in Arkham Asylum. I so desperately want to be Master Chief in Halo. Like I need to experience what it is to save the world. Like, and you know, that's very thrilling. This almost feels like a commercial for travel. Like, come visit Skyrim. There are dragons and Vikings. Oh, and some magical people. Like come visit. And if virtual reality is for the point and purpose of travel, then that might be something going forward. But like for a gameplay, it was like, here's a cool world and some violence.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Pretty much. And you do, and so much more than that. So
if it's so much more, they should be showing them more. Like I did not walk away from this trailer knowing you could be a werewolf.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome. That is so cool. That would hook me. 100%. I could be part werewolf. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can be a vampire and stuff. I mean, so I just think that, so a little disappointed in those trailers, but that's all right. I'm also disappointed that there's not another game out for Elder Scrolls. There's the online game, there's multiplayer online. We usually, we don't do the multiplayer online stuff.
Not good enough yet. We'll get there one
day.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's another one coming out, another single player story campaign one that's to go through, because I'd really like that. But I mean, there's a bunch of things I didn't play in. Like I said, I didn't play in the DLC, so maybe like the anniversary edition is something that we could get to and get around to playing. We'll see. But thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Elder Scrolls Skyrim, all the cinematic trailers. Just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.